Right, the last player that we are going to discuss here is Alan Lazard, who is going as the wide receiver 44. His ADP is 91.1, kind of being treated by the fantasy community as the de facto wide receiver one in Green Bay. He's got the highest ADP of any of their non-running back players, and this is one that I am fully fading. I have zero exposure to Alan Lazard. I couldn't imagine taking him inside the top 100. The thing that people don't realize about Lazard is that he is a blocking wide receiver. Yes, he has more chemistry with Aaron Rodgers than guys like Sammy Watkins or Christian Watson, whoever else they end up bringing in throughout the course of the offseason. But that isn't going to change the fact that Lazard is out there primarily to block and to boost the run game, especially, I think, this year when this supporting cast of pass catchers is by far the worst it's been in recent memory for Aaron Rodgers. They lose Devontae Adams, and quite clearly Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are the best two skill position players on the team. You know, they're going to have to run the ball more this season. Alan Lazard only ran routes on 52% of his offensive snaps last year. He's basically a 50-50 bet to be running a route when he's out there. More likely than not, he's going to be blocking, and I don't see that changing this year. That's his bag, and that makes sense with what we expect the Packers to do this season. So Lazard to me is absolutely hands off. I would rather wait 8 more rounds and take a shot on Sammy Watkins. I don't know. Are you in on Alan Lazard as Packers wide receiver one for this season?
No, just to put it short, I'm not. Personally, I just don't think he's that good of a player. And you know, you brought up the good point that he's a blocking wide receiver, so he is going to be out there a lot. Like, obviously, if he's your best blocking wide receiver, he's probably going to have the highest snap share on the team out of all of the receivers, but that doesn't mean he's going to get targeted, right? All right, now there is room for opportunity in the offense with Devontae Adams leaving. You know, that's 150 targets gone from the offense. So I think there is room for growth in terms of his opportunity, but I also just don't believe in him as a talent, and I definitely don't believe in him as an 8th round pick in best ball.
I just think that there's like this sort of thought that when a wide receiver one leaves or when a team doesn't have a clear-cut alpha, that somebody has to step into that role. Like, Alan Lazard has to be the wide receiver one, or if it's not him, then Christian Watson has to be the wide receiver one. But there's a good chance that none of these guys are wide receiver ones. You know, there's a good chance that all of these guys are going to be relatively even in targets, or, you know, maybe one guy has 10 more targets than the other. But I just don't think anybody is going to have a dominant, 25% target share in this offense. It's just not going to happen with this current cast of wide receivers. Yeah, it really just comes down to the way that I believe this team's offensive philosophy is going to shift more run heavy this year. And I think that will, if anything, just strengthen the case that Lazard won't be running as many routes as people are going to need him to pay off this, rising ADP.